This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. A man accused of headbutting former Prime Minister Tony Abbott has appeared in court and could face up to 2 years in jail. Our reporter Tom Cooper was in the Hobart Magistrates Court and filed this report earlier today.
38-year-old Astro Larb has pleaded guilty to one count of causing harm to a Commonwealth public official, and today we heard more details surrounding the incident. The court heard that Larb had been drinking at Salamanca on the morning of September 21 last year when he spotted the former Prime Minister walking down the street. That's when the court heard Larb chased him down, asking if he could shake his hand before headbutting Mr Abbott's lower lip and saying the former PM deserved it. Leaving court today, he had very little to say to the waiting media.
Do you regret it?
Would you do it again?
No, I make no comment.
Now, the defence argued that the physical damage done to Mr Abbott was minimal and Larb had no significant criminal history, but the charge can carry with it a jail term of up to 2 years, while Tony Abbott has since described Larb as a poor headbutter. He'll be sentenced on March 22.
New internal polling by the Tasmanian Liberal Party is showing a favourable swing in popularity, just months out from the March election. Opposition parties are dismissing the survey as a wealthy self-promotion exercise, as the potential for a hung parliament lingers.
Another day on the unofficial election campaign, Labor promising to rezone Hobart's northern suburbs, making use of the rail corridor to promote residential and commercial opportunities.
And what that does is signal to developers that there is an opportunity here to invest in housing and meet market demand.
That then makes things like the light rail corridor much more economically viable. At the moment, based on our understanding, it's just not viable. The densities aren't there.
It's now just 2 months out from the expected March election. New polling funded by the Liberal Party is showing a favourable swing in their popularity. The results indicating a significant boost in preferences, leading Labor just 1 month after an EMRS poll had the two major parties neck and neck.
It's very hard to know what to make of these numbers, partly because this is an internal poll and parties often don't release internal polls, don't release them unless the numbers suit them.
The figures indicate the Liberals are on the tipping point, with a 12 to 13 seat grab offering a potential majority.
What these strong polling numbers indicate is that only the Liberals can win majority government.
I wouldn't say that this poll proves anything because it's a completely untested pollster in the Tasmanian landscape. They would have put it out to show that they are rebuilding support.
The opposition parties aren't buying it.
Not the entire poll, only certain sections that seem to favour them. What we do know is that they're a very well-funded campaign the Liberal Party are running at the moment, a big scare campaign funded by vested interest from the gaming industry.
This is dodgy polling that's designed to pump up the Liberals' tyres before they call the election, to talk up the possibility of them securing majority government.
The Greens won't be commissioning polling, Labor not agreeing to release their own. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
With just 8 days until it officially opens to the public, Medina Bike Park is already proving to be a boon in its local area. The state government today announcing a funding boost towards construction of Stage 2, which is expected to triple visitation and create 20 more jobs.
An incredible view for anyone at 820 metres from the top, but for mountain bikers it's about to look a whole lot sweeter.
Today I can announce that $800,000 is being invested towards Stage 2 for Medina Bike Park.
This money funding a beginner trail designed for enthusiasts of all levels and a wilderness track winding 25 kilometres through the range.
It really gets you out into stunning Tasmanian wilderness top to bottom, and they're really the two key trails, and then a couple of consolidation linking trails through our network, so it's a major development for us.
We have stunning natural locations in Tasmania, and cycling tourism obviously captures that beautifully.
The park officially opening to the public next Friday, with all passes already snapped up.
We've sold out memberships, we've got people travelling from all over the world to visit us through our first couple of months of operation.
It's expected phase 2 of the construction will triple visitation rehabilitation here at Medina Bike Park and create an extra 20 full-time jobs.
I mean, we're already employing 20 people in the construction phase of the project. We've just recruited another 40 to help with the operational phase of the project. And so in a town that really probably had about 3 full-time positions prior to that, it's a pretty big impact on a small regional town.
We'll probably keep most of the kids off the streets and that, and give them something to do if they're a bit bored, especially on holidays.
Local businesses ready to ride the rewards.
Develop the shop, put more stock into it, buy more machinery, put on staff.
The new track's anticipated to be completed by next summer. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania is set to experience hot, dry and windy conditions in the eastern half of the state tomorrow. The Tasmania Fire Service says fire weather conditions worsened this afternoon, reaching severe. A very high fire danger rating has been issued for the Upper Derwent Valley, Midlands, Central North and Central Plateau. There's a total fire ban for the whole south of the state and the Northern Midlands as well, Central Highlands until midnight tomorrow. For more information, visit the TFS website. Rental prices continue to skyrocket in the state's major centres, with annual growth in Hobart reaching double figures, according to a new report. The state's peak real estate body says population growth and a shift to Airbnb is behind the spike in demand.
Hobart's rocketing rental market is catching the nation's eye. New figures from Domain reveal a record 12.9% surge in home rental prices in the past 12 months.
It was the only capital city to record double-digit growth on that annual basis.
Hobart is also delivering some of the strongest yields for investors, with the average rental on Domain charging $395 per week. That's $45 more than this time last year. Those behind the research say population pressure is driving demand. Good news for landlords, but a hit for tenants.
Tenants in Hobart are actually finding a very tight rental market, and that is a trend that we have been seeing for a little while now.
The state's north has had a similar experience.
Unfortunately, if you're a tenant, you've got to jump through the hoops and get in the queue.
Walsh says rental prices in Launceston have been steadily rising for 3 years. With a vacancy rate of around 3% in Launceston, Walsh says tenants are holding on to rentals for longer, while supply is shrinking as more properties switch to Airbnb.
Let's say you're getting $350 a week for your property. You could probably double that if you're prepared to manage it on a nightly basis.
Around the country, Canberra's rental market is also reporting standout growth, while Sydney and Brisbane remain steady. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Tasmanian animals are featuring in a new road safety campaign, hoping to save our wildlife from roadkill. Conservation groups are teaming up with the RACT in an attempt to change Tasmania's title as the roadkill capital.
Make some very small changes, like the advice given in this campaign, we could see roadkill in Tasmania halve. And that's some 250,000, 250,000 animals every single year that could be saved. That's not something to ignore.
We're targeting all drivers. Whether they're Tasmanians or tourists, everyone can play a part in better outcomes for Tasmanian wildlife on our roads.
The campaign will launch on social media, with information also distributed through tourist information centres and hire cars. A warning for viewers now as the confronting art of monophoma descends on Hobart this week. A Brisbane artist is exploring the fleshy workings of the human voice as part of a new performance. Known as vocal womb, opera singer Eve Klein gives the audience a different perspective of the body's ability to sing.
People sort of forget that it's all hidden from view, and we have to coordinate this, quite a lot, and that it is such a physical thing. And so it's about really putting the person, my body, back into this idea of a performance.
The audience is also encouraged to experiment with the bodily sounds of the artist occurring through the performance. The lungs, intestines and heart are also monitored to be replayed through a mixing desk. A regional Tasmanian business is set to recruit younger skilled staff as part of a renowned employment program, the Duke of Edinburgh. Mountfield Waterfalls Cafe looking for employees with a sense of adventure and initiative.
In the midst of a consistently busy season, Waterfalls Cafe and Gallery employs around 30 staff members and they're run off their feet.
The first week of January is often one of our busiest weeks. We were ready for it. We weren't quite ready to see double what we did the year before.
The business set in the stunning Mount Field National Park, the first Tasmanian employer to get on board with the Duke of Edinburgh program. Young people aged 14 to 25 take part in the program by creating projects for themselves to upskill and become more employable.
They undertake some form of physical recreation, they do volunteering or service, they learn skills and they go on an adventurous journey.
The first thing that it shows me is that they've got the initiative to do something themselves and they've got the ability to stick with it and see it through to the end.
Owners ready to employ more juniors to mentor and train in areas such as tourism and hospitality.
So in order to achieve their award, they've got proven resilience, increased self-confidence and they're a go-getter in a way.
Craig Farrell confident the uptake will lower the area's unemployment rate, urging other businesses to sign up.
You don't have to go very far out the door to identify a number of areas where opportunities like have been undertaken here can benefit so many more people.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Researchers in Antarctica have had their work interrupted by an unexpected visitor. A curious Adelie penguin seemingly jumped out of nowhere to see what all the commotion was. And as soon as he realised science wasn't for him, quickly returning back into the ocean. Tasmanian Highland dancers have today been mentored by one of the best in the industry in a bid to prepare them for championships. Judy Clark has travelled from New Zealand for this unique workshop, sharing her techniques and insights into the traditional Scottish dance. She's best known for training world champions.
She'll go through various steps that they do in Highland and work on making them better and more precise and more perfect so that when they compete they can have a little bit more success.
The dancers are preparing for the nation's premier event called Champion of Champions in March. And now let's take a look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The Australian share market closed slightly lower, with banks and consumer stocks among the few sectors to record gains as energy and mining stock weakness weighed on the market. The ASX 200 index has dropped by 1.2 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 79.69 US cents and 65.28 euro cents.
The Hobart Hurricanes' dream BBL run has come to an end in Adelaide overnight, going down by 11 runs to the Strikers. An impressive 70-run haul from Alex Doolan wasn't enough, with the Canes suffering their first loss in 6 games. All good things come to an end as the Hurricanes found out the hard way.
Simply brilliant this evening, and it is an 11-run win to the home team, the Adelaide Strikers.
Batting first, the home side came out firing, with Jake Weatherold and Alex Carey making easy work of the Canes' attack.
And that's going to be more runs. It's short. It's not quite on here, Jopra Archer, and he's paying.
The punishment continued as Carey gave the home crowd something to cheer about.
Seeing the ball well. Oh, that's a full toss. He's going to pay the price at 6. Clean strike again from Alex Carey.
Both openers belting their way past 50 before Carey notched up the ton off 54 balls. Archer finally claiming the breakthrough in spectacular fashion.
Chance with one stump and he's done it. Would you believe it? Taking one of the best caught and bowls you'll see.
Carey gone on the very next ball, but the damage on the scoreboard had already been done. Chasing 188 for the win, Darcy Short got straight down to business.
It has gone a very, very long way.
Short's luck running out soon after on 28, with skipper George Bailey contributing just 7 to the cause thanks to Peter Siddle.
Got him. Set it up beautifully, Peter Siddle.
Alex Doolan copping one up top.
Oh, that's a pinning. It's hit him right in the helmet.
It did little to shake his confidence, bringing up his 50 in style.
That's a good hit as well. That's a good strike from Doolan.
Ben McDermott's solid form with the bat continued.
Oh, was in the slot, and Matt over forward square leg for another 6.
But when he was sent packing on 45, the Cane train struggled to steam on, with the Strikers bringing the side's record win streak to an end. After spending most of the day in the lead, Tasmanian Scott Bowden was chased down in the final kilometres of the Tour Down Under's third stage. The final moments of the race produced a memorable finish, with Tour leader Caleb Ewan caught napping on the home stretch.
The scorching Adelaide sun wasn't enough for Scott Bowden, the Tasmanian bringing some of his own heat to stage 3.
Watch out, because there's a jump by Scott.
A gutsy attempt to dethrone South African Nicholas Lamini in the King of the Mountain, but it didn't pay off, with Lamini continuing his unbeaten streak this tour. 4 minutes later, Richie Port took points for third up the hill. In the two-man breakaway, Bowden handed the South African the first sprint in a calculated attempt to save himself for a solo breakaway.
Well, this is Scott Bowden now. He's decided to go out alone.
Bowden easily took out maximum points in the second sprint before his reign in the lead came to an end with 20 kilometres to go. As temperatures topped 41 degrees, organisers showed mercy, cutting 2 of the 3 finishing laps around Victor Harbour, setting up a frantic finish.
Look at Caleb Ewan, shoulders to the left, elbows to the right.
Stage 2 winner Caleb Ewan edged into the lead, but Italian sprinter Elia Viviani shocked the ochre jersey holder in a heart-stopping comeback.
He's not going to counter the move. He doesn't have to. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He goes over the top. But an incredible rush here towards the line. And I'm not sure he was expecting that at all.
Viviani catching Ewan off guard on the inside.
I feel really lucky to be here and to take this win.
Ewan continues to lead the tour overall with a 10-second lead. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Queensland's Elvis Smiley is top of the leaderboard after the first day of the Tasmanian Junior Masters. Smiley shot 3 under par in the morning session before backing up with 6 under par in the afternoon. He's raced away to an 8-stroke lead over front runner Jasper Stubbs, who had shot 5 under par in the morning session.
I was even on a few of the par 5s to start, and then made a couple birdies and finished the front 9 3 under, and then I just got on a bit of a roll from there.
In the women's, Mackenzie Wilson is the highest ranked Tasmanian as she trails leader Ashley Hall by 8 strokes. 50 competitors are competing in the Junior Masters at the Riverside Golf Club. The second and final day of play is tomorrow.
Good evening. Hobart and Launceston 29 degrees. Today Burnie 22 and Devonport 23. King Island the high 34. Temperatures up to 10 degrees above average over some areas. Hardly a cloud to be found. Well, where I was anyway. Fingal and Ooze 33. Strawn and Campania 32. Flinders Island, Friendly Beaches and Maria Island 28 today. Lyoweeney and St Helens both on 27. Grove 24. Low Head and Wynyard 22. A large band of cloud extends from southwest WA out over the Southern Ocean. A bit of cloudy weather too. Persisting across the northern part of Australia with thunder along the coast and the rest of the country free of cloud. As was Tasmania, apart from a tad of patchy cloud over the south. Tomorrow, a cold front is expected to push through with a trough extending north towards the Kimberley region. A ridge of high pressure extends over the Bight. Winds north-northwesterly up to 25 knots ahead of a southwest change following the front. That'll blow up to around 30 knots over the south before shifting southerly, so cooling down later in the day. Strong wind warning from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point, a small craft wind alert for the lakes. We also have a fire weather warning for the central north, northeast, east coast and Midlands. A severe fire danger over the northeast and east coast districts. Please take note of that. A shower or two developing and 29 again for Hobart. Shower on the way late in the day for Huonville, a top of 30, 33 for Campania. For Launceston, hot and partly cloudy, up to 34 degrees. 28 for Devonport, Georgetown 30 degrees. Burnie tomorrow, partly cloudy, warming up to 29, an afternoon shower for Strawn and 25, 31 for Wynyard. And for St Helens, very hot, mostly sunny, 36 degrees. The chance of a late shower for Swansea, 33 the top and 25 for Port Arthur. The UV up there again tomorrow, extreme. On Saturday morning, drizzle more likely over the east and southeast, we're developing over the north in the evening. A cloudy day on Sunday with possible light showers and showers over the west and south on Monday, otherwise fine. Warm and sunny in Perth, Sydney and Brisbane tomorrow. Hot and sunny for Adelaide and also in Melbourne with 42 degrees. Rain at times with a storm forecast for Darwin. Clear at the moment and warm in Hobart, 27. 27 also in Launceston, clear in Devonport and 21 degrees. But Joe, a bit of change in the air tomorrow, so I guess you'll be out there with your purse collecting it.
Oh, gosh, the dad jokes just get worse and worse. Thank you very much, Murph. Well, that's all from the team for now. We will, of course, see you with updates. Thanks so much for your company. Good night.